Hello everyone and welcome back to another session of Daily Current Affairs by SSB Crack Exams. I am Chetan Apurav and I'll be taking you to this session. So let's start and talking about SSB Crack Exams. So this is a one-stop solution for all the major defense-related examination. For more details regarding the courses for exams like NDA, CDS, FCAT and INET, you can visit our website learn.ssbcrackexams.com. You can also subscribe to our SSB Crack Exams YouTube channel for daily current affairs videos and videos related to defense and SSB interviews. You can also follow us on Instagram as SSB Crack Exams, and don't forget to download our app SSB Crack Exams from Google Play Store. Right? Now let's move ahead. We shall start our session with the question of the day for yesterday, and I asked you guys to learn about Atal Tunnel. So what are the basic facts and details regarding the Atal Tunnel? So we discussed this in the previous session, the news regarding that Border Road Organization is planning to complete it by the end of this year. So we'll be discussing in brief about what is this Atal Tunnel, some basic facts and figures. So Atal Tunnel, which was previously known as the Rohtang Tunnel, this was named after India's former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. This is a highway tunnel being built under the Rohtang Pass, or slightly besides the Rohtang Pass, in the eastern Pir Panjal range of Himalayas. So remember this, that Rohtang Pass lies in the Pir Panjal range of Himalayas. This is also important as far as geographical aspect of this topic is concerned. And this is on the Leh Manali highway. This is situated, of 8.8 kilometer in length, and it will be one of the longest road tunnels in India, and is expected to reduce the distance between Manali and Kelong by 46 kilometers, and if in time, it will reduce the total travel time by 5 hours. The tunnel is at an elevation of 3100 meters, while the Rohtang Pass is at an elevation of 3978 meters. The excavation of the tunnel completed in October 2017, when the blasting from south and north ends, or basically the north and south part of the tunnels, were joined, and the completed tunnel will be open in June 2020. That is what the news was about in the previous session, in the yesterday's session, that BRO is planning to complete this tunnel by the end of June this year. Okay, now let's move ahead and we shall start with the newses. The first news is about the progress of PMGKP, that is Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Pariyojana. So around 39 crore poor people received financial assistance of rupees 34,800 crore under the PMGKP. Now we'll one by one see there are many schemes which comes under PMGKP, and we'll be discussing about that. So one by one we'll start. Over 39 crore people have received financial assistance already of around 34,800 crore rupees under this package. First of all, under PM Kisan Yojana, 16,394 crore has been transferred to 8.9 crore farmer families. Then women under Women Jan Dhan accounts, a total of rupees 12,810 crore disbursed in 2 installments to 25.62 crore account holders. Then in Women Jan Dhan accounts again, then rupees 1405 crore disbursed to about 2.82 crore old age person, widows and disabled person. This is again comes under Jan Dhan Yojana. Then 2.20 crore building and construction workers also received financial support amounting to 3,493 crore rupees, and this has all been done in inside of by keeping in mind the nationwide lockdown and the economic impact of the coronavirus, right? 698 crore rupees has also been transferred as EPF, Employee Provident Fund Provident Fund contribution, benefiting around 44.97 lakh employees. Right. Apart from this, under Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana, total of 67.65 lakh tons of food grains have been lifted by 36 states for the month of April. 30.16 lakh tons of food grains has been distributed already, covering around 60.33 crore beneficiaries by all the states in the month of April. And in the month of May, up till now, 6.19 lakh tons of food grains has already been distributed, covering 12.39 crore beneficiaries. Apart from that, 2.42 lakh tons of pulses has also been dispatched to various states and UTs. Now, another scheme in PMGKP, that is Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, 4.8 crore free cooking gas cylinders have already been delivered to the beneficiaries. Another scheme, that is MG Narega, which is Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. This rates of the MG and NREGA, that is the daily wage rate, has been increased from April 1, 2020, and 5.97 crore man days of work generated in the current financial year, which is a huge number, and rupees 21,032 crore released to states to liquidate pending dues of both wages, both the wage and material of the laborers. Okay. Insurance scheme, apart from all this, insurance scheme for health workers in government hospitals and healthcare centers operationalized by New India Assurance, covering 22.12 lakh health workers. So this is a great you can say so this is a great financial assistance which is being offered by the Indian government to the financially weaker section of the society, right? Okay, now let's move ahead. And now in this news, this is the news about DGCSIR launches compendium of Indian technologies for combating COVID-19. So compendium of Indian technologies for combating COVID-19, which is based on 3 T's. Remember these 3 T's: tracing, testing, and treating, has been prepared by the National Research Development Corporation, was launched by Dr. Shekhar C. Mandit, who is the Director General of CSIR and Secretary DSIR, Government of India, at CSIR headquarters, New Delhi. Now, what is this compendium? This compendium carries information about 200 COVID-19 related Indian technologies or the ongoing research activities and the technologies which are available for commercialization. Okay, initiatives and efforts taken by Government of India, categorized under 3 T's. Remember these 3 T's which are tracking, testing, and treating. So what it will do is that this compendium will release 200 various COVID-19 related Indian technologies which will be available for commercialization. That means that various startups and companies can use these ideas and they can use it for production, and finally they can directly contribute in our support, in our fight against COVID-19. Okay, so this is a very good step by the ministry. Now let's move ahead. The next news is about the Power Ministry has released the data on energy savings for the year 2018 and 19, and there has been a massive improvement as far as energy efficiency is concerned. So Shri R.K. Singh, who is the Union Minister of State, Power and New Renewable Energy and Minister of State, Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, released a report on impact of energy efficiency measures of the country 2018 and 19 for the year 2018 and 19, and the energy efficiency initiatives by BEE, which is Bureau of Energy Efficiency. Remember, BEE is Bureau of Energy Efficiency, leads to savings worth rupees 89.122 crore, that is 89,122 crore rupees worth of saving has been done in the 2018 and 19 period of the year. The total electricity savings to the tune of 113.16 billion units in 2018 and 19 has been saved, which is total of 10%, approximately 9.39% to be exact, of the net electricity consumption of the country. Apart from this, the CO2 emissions in the year 2018 and 19 has been dropped from 151 metric ton to 108 metric ton approximately. So this is also a very good improvement as far as the pollution is concerned and the energy saving efficiency is concerned for the country, right? Now let's move ahead. Nanomaterials with energy storage application and optical sensors for water pollution control has been developed, and it has been developed by the group of Inspire faculty awardees from IIT BHU, right? It was a team led by Dr. Ashish Kumar Mishra, and they have developed nanomaterials based supercapacitor to achieve high energy density and power density of supercapacitors, right? They've also developed a reduced graphene oxide at a moderate temperature of approximately 100 degrees Celsius with high capacitance performance, right? The production process is a cost effective one, making it suitable for commercial purposes as well. So this could be brought into production and will be affordable by common people. This work has been published in Materials Research Express as well. Apart from that, Dr. Mishra's group is also working on optoelectronic applications of nanomaterials. Now, what does this mean? In this context, they are basically working on developing new nanostructures of carbon and metal dichalcogenside semiconductors for photo detection and surface enhanced Raman spectroscopy, which is in short termed as SERS, right? Now, the SERS can help detect harmful molecules present in water at ultra low concentration. So even if the harmful molecules are present in very, very low concentration in the water, even that can be detected by the help of this concept of SERS, right? So this is a very good development done by the scientists. Now, moving ahead, another news came from Mumbai. So IT Alumni Council has launched India's first COVID-19 test bus, and that too in Mumbai. So IT Alumni Council, this is a group of all the alumni of 3 major IITs, and they have launched a first COVID-19 test bus in Mumbai, which can reduce the cost of testing by over 80% without even compromising on the capacity of total testing. And it will not only do that, it will be a mobile collecting collecting bus which will collect test samples for rapid testing, and this will increase the overall testing speed by 100 times in Mumbai. So this is a very, very good initiative and a good product that has been developed by the IT Alumni Council. Okay, now let's move ahead. In another news, DST investments in science and technology has been increased by 100% in the last 5 years. Now this clearly shows the emphasis that the government is giving in the Department of Science and Technology, and clearly there have been a lot of potential in our science technology sector of India, and the government is utilizing it in a proper way. So several major new initiatives have been already launched promoting people's participation in R&D. These are the reasons basically why there has been an increase in investment, and what was the basic reason behind the increase in the investments. Key initiatives in new and emerging areas created a vision for next 5 years. New schemes have also launched aligning with the national mission and keeping in the interest of national missions and the aim of the government. Now, another news, Made in India rolling stocks for India's first regional rail from Delhi to Meerut has been finalized, and this will be totally made in India, right? And this has been finalized yesterday in global bidding, and there are many features of this rolling stock which has been finalized. More details will be awaited, but at present the only thing that is confirmed is that the rolling stocks will be made in India. It will be completely indigenous. Okay. Now, special train coaches will be placed at 215 railway stations across 23 different states and union territories. This will be done for basically Health Ministry had issued guidance and guidelines for using railway coaches as COVID care centers. Now, what are the details? Let's get into that. So, procedures as per guidance for management of suspects confirmed cases will be followed. The aim is to observe patients for clinical condition and refer them to suitable centers if and when required. Separate coaches for suspected and infected patients will be there. Special train coaches to be placed in 215 different stations all across the country. Coaches with required infrastructure will be handed over to district after requisition by the state and allocation by the Indian Railways. One dedicated COVID hospital to be mapped with each train. So corresponding to each of these 215 trains, there will be a hospital which will be COVID hospital, which will be mapped from the very beginning. Railway will provide all necessary items including oxygen cylinders for care centers. In 85 stations, Railway will provide healthcare staff in 130 stations, states to request coaches only if they agree to provide for staff and essential medicines. Right now, let's move ahead, and in today's last news, we'll be seeing the current COVID-19 update in India. So as of now, the total number of confirmed cases has crossed the 50,000 mark. So current number of confirmed cases as of 7th May 8 a.m. is 52,952, and out of that, active cases is 35,902, although 15,267 patients have been recovered from this, and unfortunately the number of deaths is 1,783. Okay guys, so now it's quiz time. We shall discuss the number of questions. Which of the following is a part of PMGKY? So the correct answer for this will be all these three. That since PMUY, that is Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, is also a part of it. PMJDY, Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, and MGNREGA is Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. So all these are part of Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. So the correct answer is all of the above. Now, the 3 Ds which are related to Compendium of Indian Technologies for Combating COVID-19, which has recently been released. So the correct answer for this is tracking, testing and treating. So the correct answer is option A. Now moving ahead, rolling stocks for India's first regional rail from Delhi to Meerut will be made in which country? So we have discussed this already, and the correct answer for this is it will be made in India, right? Okay guys, so that's it from today's session. Let's head towards the question of the day. What is the PMGKY and when was it launched? Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. You have to tell about it and answer in the comment section. The answer for this will be discussed in the tomorrow session. So till then guys, be safe and take care. Thank you. Jai Hind.